Hello, if you're new here, I'm Ryan. I'm a full-time PA, physician assistant, and working mom. I am currently vacationing with my son Sully, who's 9, my husband Scott, and then some extended family. We're currently in St. John, US Virgin Islands, but I want to share our adventures and struggle getting here. We have been planning this trip for just about a year, I think, with our family, and excitement and super thrilled to go on this trip together. There was 13 of us total. We originally had travel plans booked for January 3rd. My son, my husband and I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hi. To get to the airport. I think our flight left at 5:20 a.m. and we originally had our flight booked from Wisconsin to Atlanta, Georgia, and then Atlanta to St. Thomas. Actually, before we left the house, we got a notice that our second flight, Atlanta to St. Thomas, was canceled. So we were scrambling. We didn't know what was going on. We found American Airlines, which was Wisconsin to Chicago, Chicago to St. Thomas. So we booked that whole new flight instead. That one was still going, so we hop on the flight from Wisconsin to Chicago. While we're in air, we start learning about President Trump in Venezuela, and then we get in Chicago, and as we're walking to our next gate, our flight was canceled. We were super bummed. It was like, oh my gosh, it was so unfortunate. So we sat at our gate, not knowing what to do. Like, the FAA had decided that it wasn't safe to fly. They shut down all flights around Venezuela, Caribbean. All flights were canceled and grounded. Flying anywhere in the Virgin Islands. So there was no way that we could get out. So we were deciding, do we spend the night in Chicago? Do we fly to Florida to see family there? Do we go back home? We just didn't know what to do. So we finally decided just to get our luggage, because the luggage was not going to the Virgin Islands. So we had to stand in this really long line to just request the luggage to get out of the storage room, and then finally wait for someone to pull it and finally pick up our luggage. And by that point, I think we decided we didn't want to spend the night in Chicago. We just wanted to get back home. That's all that we wanted. I wanted sleep. So we found a rental car, luckily, that was available to go one way from Chicago back to Wisconsin. So we spent a couple $100s on our rental vehicle to head back home. Scott and I have a habit of, whenever things go wrong in our life, we always end up at Panera. We were so hungry, we didn't have breakfast. I was like, we're just stopping at Panera. And it was the greatest meal ever. So he got this huge loaf of bread that he loves, their baguette, and I got this good egg sandwich. It was so good. But yeah, Panera just has a way of making me feel better about life when things go haywire. And we drove home, dropped off the rental car back at the airport, and then picked up our car. So it was all this kind of wasted money of rental car gas, parking, just for this 12-hour trip to get to Chicago and back home on our Saturday. I think things like this definitely make us stronger as a couple. We're, Scott and I going through stuff like this together. I think it definitely strengthens our bond and relationship, that we can get through trials and, troubleshooting and figuring things out together. And I think Sally learned too that I kept saying it's unfortunate, but we're healthy, we're safe. That's really all that matters at the end of the day. The harder part was we didn't really know, if it was going to last days, weeks, months, this thing with Venezuela and their president and Trump and things. But we luckily were able to get out pretty quickly. We probably could have gotten out Sunday, but we weren't sure. So we hung out Sunday as a family, just kind of made that our vacation day in our hometown. Sully and I actually checked out. I love indoor rock climbing now, and Sully went with me for the first time ever. So Scott came with to watch, and we just hung out as a family and spent some time together. And then we found out through our original Delta flight, they rebooked us on a flight on Monday morning. So again, got up at 3 a.m. to fly out. So our trip was just under 2 weeks. We were planning a full 2 weeks here with the family, but it ended up being just under 2 weeks for us. Some of the family was flying flying from Florida to meet us there. And their experience in Miami was like way worse than what we had in Chicago and our turnaround. Theirs was much more terrible. And then when we got to St. Thomas, so we flew in a little bit before they flew in. We still arranged it kind of pretty close together. Their luggage had made it to St. Thomas, like just in this huge luggage pile that we had to sort through, trying to find their luggage. And then we picked all that out, and then they came off the flight, and then we all came over by ferry to St. John together in this beautiful home that we're staying at and sharing. So yeah, it's been beautiful here. Gorgeous beach. Our house that we're renting is right on the water. It's been super nice to just go out and snorkel, paddleboard, get some groceries. We did a lot of cooking at the house here. All the kids are enjoying their time together, I think. So yeah, definitely more to come from St. John. Just like a little intro of the hiccups getting here and adventures. That's going to be all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Next one.